Advice. Advice is an opinion about what to do.
I don't know how to study for my exams. Can you give me some advice?
Advise. To advise someone is to tell them what to do.
My mother often advises people about their money.
Advocacy. Advocacy is the act of supporting or recommending something.
Janine's strong advocacy for the event made people want to attend.
Advocate. To advocate a plan or idea is to support or suggest it in public.
The group advocated increased spending on education and schools.
Aerial. When something is aerial, it relates to being in the air or flying.
The aerial photographer took pictures from the air balloon.
Aesthetic. If something is aesthetic, then it is concerned with a love of beauty.
The dresses were noteworthy for their aesthetic design.
Affair. An affair is an event or a thing that happened.
My wife and I attended a formal affair over the weekend.
Affection. Affection is a feeling of liking someone or something.
Amanda has a lot of affection for her little sister Sarah.
Affect. To affect someone or something is to have an influence over them.
The student's poor attitude affected the other students in the class.
Affirm. To affirm is to say that something is true.
Using a graph, Malcolm affirmed the success of the company.
Afflicted. Afflicted means to suffer physically or mentally.
He was afflicted by pain in his right arm.
Affluent. If someone is affluent, they are wealthy.
People in the city are usually more affluent than people in the country.
Afford. To afford something means you have enough money to pay for it.
I've been saving my money, so I can afford to buy a new bike.
Afraid. When someone is afraid, they feel fear.
The woman was afraid of what she saw.
Against. To be against something is to be touching it or opposed to it.
They both leaned against the wall.
Agency. An agency is a business or service set up to act for others.
I went to a travel agency to help me arrange a flight home.
Aggregate. When a number is aggregate, it is made up of smaller amounts added together.
The company totaled its aggregate sales for the entire year.
Aggression. Aggression is behavior that is mean or violent to others.
The problem was only made worse by Mark's aggression.
Avenue. An avenue is a road, often a large one with buildings on each side.
Drive down this avenue and then turn left to go to the park.
Average. If something is average, it is at a normal level.
I'm not rich or poor. I'm average.
Appropriate. When a thing is appropriate, it is right or normal.
It's appropriate to wear a suit when you go to the office.
Await. To await something means to wait for it.
The players awaited the judge's decision.
Approximate. Approximate means to be close to an exact amount, number, or time.
My approximate height is 2 meters.
Award. An award is a prize someone gets for doing something well.
He got an award for having the best grades in class.
Aware. If you are aware of something, you know about it.
I was not aware of the ringing phone.
Awesome. If something or someone is awesome, they are impressive or frightening.
The huge military plane was an awesome sight.
Awful. When something is awful, it is very bad.
Her performance last night was awful.
Arc. An arc is a curved shape.
A rainbow has the shape of an arc.
Awkward. If something is awkward, it is embarrassing and uncomfortable.
After dropping his coffee cup, Robbie felt awkward.
Axe. An axe is a tool used to cut wood.
She used an axe to cut some wood for the fire.
Bachelor. A bachelor is an unmarried man.
Since he was a bachelor, Jason did his shopping by himself.
Background. A background is a person's education, family, and experience.
The new teacher had a background in science and math.
Backstage. If something happens backstage, it occurs behind a theater stage.
After the show, the director went backstage and thanked the actors.
Acquisition. An acquisition is something that a person buys or gets in some way.
Marty was happy with his new acquisition, a very fast bicycle.
Acrobat. An acrobat is a person who entertains people by doing amazing physical things.
There were acrobats at the circus that did impressive and complicated jumps.
Across. To go across something is to go to the other side of it.
He walked across the board to the other side.
Actual. Actual means that something is real or true.
This is the actual sword that the king owned, not a fake one.
Actually. Actually means in fact or really.
My dad looks a little mean, but actually he's very kind.
Acute. When a bad thing is acute, it is very severe and intense.
When she fell out of the tree, the girl felt an acute pain in her arm.
Adapt. To adapt means to change in order to deal with a new situation or addition.
When he went to the new town, he had to adapt to all the weather changes.
Addict. An addict is a person who cannot stop doing or having something.
She was a coffee addict. She had more than 3 cups each day.
Adept. If someone is adept at something, they are very good at doing it.
The carpenter is very adept at building houses.
Adequate. When something is adequate, it is good enough for something else.
Without adequate notice of the roadblock, they will have to turn around.
Adhere. To adhere means to act in the way that a rule or agreement says is right.
If the new employees wish to succeed, they must adhere to the boss's rules.
Adhesive. An adhesive is a substance used for sticking things together.
The carpenter used an adhesive to hold the 2 pieces of wood together.
Adjoin. To adjoin something means to be next to or attached to something else.
She can listen to her brother's conversations because her room adjoins his.
Adjoining. If something is adjoining, it is next to or joined with a building or room.
I couldn't sleep because the people in the adjoining room were loud.
Adjust. To adjust something means to change it so it is better.
He adjusted the old guitar to make it sound better.
Administer. To administer means to take responsibility for organizing something.
The teacher's assistant will administer the test.
Administration. An administration is the group of people who manage a company or organization.
She hoped she could be promoted to a job in the administration.
Administrative. Administrative describes anything related to managing a company or organization.
I work as an administrative assistant to the owner of the company.
Administrator. An administrator is a person who controls a business, company, or organization.
Everyone in the store did whatever the administrator asked them to do.
Admiral. An admiral is someone who controls many military ships.
They won the sea battle because of the admiral's great leadership.
Admire. To admire someone is to like them for what they do.
I admire my brother for his hard work.
Admission. Admission is the act of allowing to enter a place.
The admission ticket to the movie was $5.
Admit. To admit something means to say that it is true.
I had to admit that I stole his idea.
Admonish. To admonish someone is to tell them you disapprove of their behavior.
The teacher admonished Mark because he was chewing gum in class.
Adolescent. An adolescent is a young person or a teenager.
The adolescent was excited about getting a skateboard for his birthday.
Adopt. To adopt someone is to make them as part of one's own family.
The girl was adopted by the couple when she was 3.
Attach. To attach is to put 2 things together.
I attached the socks to the clothesline to dry.
Attack. To attack is to try to fight or to hurt.
The man with the sword attacked the other man first.
attain. To attain something means to gain or achieve it, often after a lot of effort.
In 2 more years, I will attain my high school diploma.
Attempt. To attempt something is to try to do that thing.
I am attempting to learn English.
Attend. To attend something is to go to it.
My sister and I attend the same school.
Attention. Attention is the notice, thought, or consideration of someone.
His work got the attention of 2 of his coworkers.
Attentive. If you are attentive, you are careful and you pay attention.
He is a good student because he is attentive to every detail on his work.
Attic. An attic is a room just below a house's roof.
There were 2 windows in their attic.
Antique. If something is antique, it is very old and rare, and therefore valuable.
My grandmother's antique rocking chair is worth a lot of money.
Attitude. Someone's attitude is the way they feel and think.
John has a bad attitude. He's always angry.
Attorney. An attorney is one who gives others advice about the law.
The attorney appeared in front of the judge for me.
Attract. To attract means to make a person or thing come closer or be interested.
The magnet attracted the metal.
Attribute. An attribute is a characteristic of a person or thing.
He isn't very clever, but he does have some other positive attributes.
Audible. If something is audible, then it is able to be heard.
The sound of the drums was audible from miles away.
Audience. An audience is a group of people who watch something together.
There was a large audience at the game.
Aggressive. If someone is aggressive, then they constantly want to fight.
Nobody liked to play games with him because he was always too aggressive.
Agree. To agree is to say yes, or to think the same way.
The food is very good in that restaurant. I agree with you.
Agriculture. Agriculture is the growing of food and animals.
The farmers studied agriculture in college.
Ahead. If something is ahead of something else, it is in front of it.
The blue car drove on ahead of us.
Aid. To aid someone is to help them when they need something.
The doctor aided the boy after his accident.
Ail. To ail a person or group is to cause difficulty or pain.
My brother went to the doctor to see what was ailing him.
Aim. An aim is a goal someone wants to make happen.
My aim is to become a helicopter pilot.
Aircraft. An aircraft is a vehicle that flies in the sky, such as an airplane or helicopter.
At the museum in the airport, you can see a lot of old aircraft.
Airway. An airway is the passage by which air reaches a person's lungs.
Since he was sick, mucus would occasionally get stuck in his airway.
Aisle. An aisle is a space between two things that people use to walk.
They were told to clear the aisle because the plane was about to land.
Alarm. An alarm is something that warns people of danger.
When the students heard the fire alarm, they left the building.
Alas. Alas is a word that people say when something bad happens.
I looked everywhere for my purse, but alas, I couldn't find it.
Alert. To alert someone is to tell or warn them about something.
The fire alarm alerted us that there was a problem.
Alien. An alien is a creature from a different world.
The alien came in peace.
Alike. If two things or people are alike, they are similar in some way.
People often think my sister and I look alike.
Alive. If someone or something is alive, they are not dead.
My grandparents are still alive, even though they're over 90.
Allege. To allege something is to say that it is true without offering proof.
The little girl had alleged that her older brother hit her favorite doll.
Alleviate. To alleviate pain or suffering means to make it less intense or severe.
She needed something to alleviate the pain in her back.
Alley. An alley is a narrow road behind houses or buildings.
The alley behind my house looks dirty.
Alliance. An alliance is a group of people who work together.
The junior executives formed an alliance with each other.
Allocate. To allocate something means to put it aside for a certain purpose or person.
The government allocated $100 million to aid the disaster relief effort.
Allot. To allot something means to give it to someone.
The coach allotted each team 5 minutes to prepare a strategy.
Badly. Badly means in a severe or harmful way.
He hurt his arm badly playing with friends.
Baggage. Baggage is the set of bags that people take with them when they travel.
I'm taking several pieces of baggage with me on vacation.
Bait. Bait is something used to trick a person or thing to do something.
The best bait for catching fish is a big fat worm.
Bake. To bake means to cook food with heat.
My sister is a good cook. She bakes delicious cakes.
Balance. To balance something is to keep it from falling.
We saw an elephant balance itself on a ball.
Bald. If someone is bald, they have no hair.
My oldest brother is bald.
Bamboo. Bamboo is a hard plant with thin branches and leaves.
Outside his home, there is a lot of bamboo.
Ban. To ban something is to not let people do it.
Smoking is banned in this building.
Band. A band is a group of people who play music.
My brother is in a rock band.
Bandage. A bandage is a piece of cloth used to stop bleeding.
If you cut yourself, please get a bandage from the first aid kit.
Bang. To bang is to hit something to make a noise.
The drummer banged on his drum as he marched in the parade.
Bankrupt. If someone is bankrupt, then they are unable to pay their debts.
The store had few customers and soon went bankrupt.
Banquet. A banquet is a grand formal dinner.
Both families brought a lot of food for the wedding banquet.
Barber. A barber is a person whose job is to cut hair.
My hair is getting much too long. I'd better go to the barber shop.
Bare. When something is bare, it is plain. It has no covering.
He likes to walk around in his bare feet.
Barely. Barely means by the smallest amount. Almost not.
I barely had enough money to pay for my bus ticket.
Ample. If something is ample, then it is enough or more than enough.
There was an ample supply of oats to feed the horses.
Amuse. To amuse someone means to do something that is funny or entertaining.
The singer was very good. She amused the crowd.
Analogous. If something is analogous to another thing, then it is like it in certain ways.
The relationship with his teacher was analogous to that of a son and mother.
Analogy. An analogy is a connection made between things to show that they are similar.
The doctor made an analogy between the human heart and a water pump.
Analytic. If something is analytic, it is related to logic and reasoning.
The analytic article criticized the new plan and presented one of its own.
Analyze. To analyze something is to study it.
The scientist will analyze the blood sample.
Ancestor. An ancestor is a family member from the past.
My ancestors came from Germany.
Ancestry. A person's ancestry is the series of people from whom a person descended.
We studied our ancestry and found out that we are related to royalty.
Anchor. An anchor is a heavy object dropped from a boat to make it stay in one place.
When the ship reached its destination, the crew dropped the anchor.
Ancient. If something is ancient, it is very old.
I want to see the ancient buildings in Rome.
Anemia. Anemia is a blood condition that causes a person to be pale and tired.
When she first developed anemia, she became tired often.
Anew. If you do something anew, you do it again and in a different way.
Though he had failed his driving test, he decided to try it anew.
Anger. To anger someone is to make them mad.
It angers me when people are rude.
Angle. An angle is the direction from which you look at something.
The giraffe turned its head to see from another angle.
Angry. When someone is angry, they may want to speak loudly or fight.
She didn't do her homework, so her father is angry.
Animate. When something is animate, it has life.
Rocks and machines are not animate things.
Anniversary. An anniversary is a day that celebrates something from the past.
My parents went out to eat for their wedding anniversary.
Announce. To announce something is to make it known.
He announced to everyone his new idea for the company.
Annoy. To annoy someone means to bother them.
The flies buzzing around John's head annoyed him very much.
Annual. If something is annual, it happens once a year.
The only time I see my aunts and uncles is at our annual family picnic.
Anthropology. Anthropology is the study of people, society, and culture.
In anthropology class, I learned about simple tools that ancient cultures used.
Antibiotic. An antibiotic is a medical drug used to kill bacteria and treat infections.
The doctor gave me a shot of an antibiotic when I got the flu.
Blood. Blood is the red liquid in your body.
I cut my finger and got blood on my shirt.
Bloom. When a plant blooms, it makes flowers.
Roses look so pretty when they bloom.
Blossom. A blossom is a flower or group of flowers.
There were colorful blossoms in the yard.
Blow. To blow means to move air or move something through the air, as in the wind.
The wind is blowing very hard today. We should stay inside.
Board. A board is a flat piece of wood.
The sign was made of a few wooden boards.
Boast. To boast is to talk about how good you are.
We all became tired of listening to him boast about himself all day.
Bold. If someone is bold, they are not afraid of doing something.
The bold man climbed the high mountain.
Bomb. A bomb is an object that explodes and destroys large areas.
The bomb will destroy anything that is near.
Bond. To bond with someone is to become friends with them.
The women bonded after several hours of conversation.
Bone. A bone is a hard part of the body.
I brought home a nice bone for my dog.
Boom. To boom means to make a loud, deep sound.
The firecrackers made a loud boom when they exploded.
Boost. To boost something means to increase or improve it.
Lowering prices boosts customers' interest in shopping.
Boot. A boot is a heavy shoe that goes over your ankle.
He wore boots so that his feet wouldn't get wet.
Border. A border is the edge of an area.
The postcard had a pretty green border of pine needles.
Allow. To allow something to happen means to let it happen.
Having a ticket will allow you to enter the show.
Ally. An ally is someone who agrees to help or support you.
I was happy to find many allies who shared the same opinion as me.
Almighty. The Almighty is a name for a god in a religion.
Before eating, they thanked the Almighty for their food.
Alone. If someone is alone, they are not with another person.
The boy wanted to be alone to think.
Along. Along means to move from one part of a road, river, etc. to another.
Walk along this tunnel for 10 minutes, and you'll see a door on the left.
Alongside. If something is alongside another thing, then it is next to it.
We work alongside each other in the office.
Aloud. If you say something aloud, you say it so that others can hear you.
My father often reads stories aloud to me and my sister.
Already. If something happens already, it happens before a certain time.
It is already time for the movie to start. Let's go in.
Altar. An altar is a table used in churches.
The altar had many lit candles on it.
Alter. To alter something means to make a small change to it.
I altered the color of my nails to match my hair.
Alternate. To alternate means to switch back and forth between two things.
The best exercise alternates muscle and heart strengthening.
Alternative. An alternative is something that you can choose instead of your first choice.
Her first plan to make extra money seemed weak, so she chose an alternative.
Although. You use although to say that one thing is contrasted by another.
Although she was late, her friends gave her a warm welcome.
Altitude. The altitude of a place is its height above sea level.
The air was thin at such a high altitude on the mountain.
Altogether. If something happens altogether, it happens completely.
The company stopped using sugar altogether in its food.
Amaze. To amaze someone is to surprise them very much.
The news in the paper amazed Jack.
Ambassador. An ambassador is a government worker who works in another country.
The ambassador from Korea was in charge of the conference.
Amber. Amber is a hard, yellowish material that comes from trees.
The necklace was made from pieces of amber.
Ambitious. If someone is ambitious, they want to be rich or successful.
Kendra had to be ambitious to get into medical school.
Amend. To amend something means to change it to improve or make it accurate.
The countries were in agreement that the treaty needed to be amended.
Amid. If something is amid something else, then it is in the middle of it.
The bee was busily flying amid the flowers in the garden.
Amnesty. Amnesty is a pardon given to prisoners of war.
She was denied amnesty for her involvement in the war.
Among. If you are among certain things, they are all around you.
There was a red apple among the green ones.
Amount. An amount is how much there is of something.
Can I use my card to pay for the entire amount?
Budget. A budget is the amount of money available to spend on something.
His budget for food was very tight.
Bulb. A bulb is the glass part of an electric light.
I had to change the light bulb in my bedroom.
Bulk. The bulk of something is its great size.
The large elephant moved its bulk with legs as strong as tree trunks.
Bullet. A bullet is a small metal object that is shot out of guns.
Bullets come in different sizes for different guns.
Bulletin. A bulletin is a news report that talks about very recent and important events.
There was a live bulletin reporting on the economy of the city.
Bully. A bully is a person who is mean to others.
The two bullies always picked on the smaller, weaker kids.
Bump. A bump is a small raised area on a surface.
The monkey got a bump on his head because he was hit by a rock.
Bunch. A bunch is a group of the same things.
She was hungry, so she ate the entire bunch of grapes.
Bundle. A bundle is a number of things that are tied together.
I was shocked when he showed me a bundle of money.
Buoy. A buoy is a floating sign that warns boats of dangerous areas.
Don't steer the boat near those buoys. There are rocks underneath the water.
Burden. A burden is a serious or difficult responsibility.
Children who do not behave are a burden to their parents.
Burn. To burn something is to set it on fire.
I burned some wood in the campfire.
Burst. To burst is to suddenly break open or apart.
The bomb burst over the city.
Bury. To bury someone or something means to put them in the ground.
They buried their grandfather under his favorite tree after he died.
Bush. A bush is a plant with many thin branches. It is smaller than a tree.
My dad and I planted some small bushes around the house.
Butler. A butler is the most important male servant in a wealthy house.
Whenever he needed something, he rang a bell and the butler appeared.
Bin. A bin is a container that holds things.
He put his trash in the bin.
Appoint. To appoint someone to a job means to give the job to them.
Two students were appointed to help the scientists with their research.
Appreciate. To appreciate something is to understand its good qualities.
I can appreciate the lovely scenery.
Apprentice. An apprentice is a person who learns how to do a job from a skilled person.
Mark is an apprentice chef at the restaurant.
Approach. To approach something means to move close to it.
The boy approached his school.
Appropriate. When a thing is appropriate, it is right or normal.
It's appropriate to wear a suit when you go to the office.
Approve. To approve of something means you like it or are happy about it.
Her co-workers approved her new plan.
Approximate. Approximate means to be close to an exact amount, number, or time.
My approximate height is 2 meters.
Aptitude. Aptitude is a natural ability or skill.
He has a natural aptitude for water skiing.
Aquarium. An aquarium is a building where fish and underwater animals are kept.
We took a trip to the aquarium and saw a scary shark.
Aquatic. If a plant or animal is aquatic, it lives or grows in water.
The dolphin is an aquatic mammal.
Arbitrary. If something is arbitrary, it is not based on any plan or system, so it seems random.
The classroom had many arbitrary rules that made me confused.
Arc. An arc is a curved shape.
A rainbow has the shape of an arc.
Arch. An arch is a curved opening formed under a structure such as a bridge or doorway.
The arch of the bridge was not high enough for the tall boat to pass underneath.
Archaic. If something is archaic, it is very old or outdated.
To be competitive, we must update our archaic equipment.
Archaeological. When something is archaeological, it relates to archaeology.
They found archaeological evidence that proved an ancient species of man.
Archaeology. Archaeology is the study of ancient people through their artifacts.
He studied archaeology to learn more about ancient Egyptian culture.
Archer. An archer is a person who uses a bow and arrows.
The expert archer hit the target every time.
Architect. An architect is a person who designs buildings.
The plans for building the new home were drawn by a famous architect.
Architecture. Architecture is the style or way a building is made.
The architecture of the church is amazing.
Bark. When a dog barks, it makes a short, loud noise.
The dog barked loudly and frighteningly.
Barley. Barley is a grain that is used for animal feed, health food, and beer.
The farmer grew barley to feed his cows in the winter.
Barrel. A barrel is a round thing that you can keep liquids in.
There was an empty barrel outside the house.
Barren. If land is barren, it has no plants growing on it.
People cannot farm in barren lands.
Barrier. A barrier is something that is in your way.
The Great Wall was a barrier between China and its enemies.
Base. The base is the bottom of something.
The base of the table has 3 legs.
Basement. A basement of a house or building is a room that is built underground.
They turned their basement into a game room.
Basic. If something is basic, it is very simple or easy.
I learned some basic English skills in school today.
Basin. A basin is a large bowl for washing things. A sink is sometimes called a basin.
She filled the basin with water and washed her face.
Basis. To do something on times basis is how often you do it.
My grandfather gets his hearing checked on a yearly basis.
Bath. A bath is water in a tub. People take a bath to get clean.
After playing in the dirt, the boy took a bath.
Battle. A battle is a fight between two armies during a war.
The battle lasted for many days.
Bay. A bay is an area near the ocean where the land goes inward.
The Golden Gate Bridge crosses San Francisco Bay.
Beach. The beach is a sandy or rocky place by the ocean.
The little girl built a sandcastle on the beach.
Bead. A bead is a drop of liquid.
Beads of water collected outside the glass.
Beak. A beak is the hard, curved part of a bird's mouth.
The bird used her beak to dig a small hole in the ground.
Beam. A beam is a heavy bar.
Modern skyscrapers are made with several beams.
Bean. A bean is a plant seed that is good to eat.
There are many different kinds of beans to eat.
Anticipate. To anticipate something is to think that it will happen.
Carrie anticipated the arrival of her baby.
Antique. If something is antique, it is very old and rare, and therefore valuable.
My grandmother's antique rocking chair is worth a lot of money.
Anxiety. When someone has anxiety, they have a lot of worries and fear.
When I have to climb to high places, I'm filled with anxiety.
Anxious. When a person is anxious, they worry that something bad will happen.
She was anxious about not making her appointment on time.
Anymore. Anymore means any longer.
Her old pants don't fit her anymore.
Apart. When people or things are apart, they are not close together.
The couple decided to live apart from each other.
Apartment. An apartment is a set of rooms in a building where people live.
She has a nice apartment in the city.
Apologetic. If someone is apologetic, they are sorry about something.
The boy felt apologetic after losing his sister's favorite toy.
Apology. An apology is something someone says to show that they are sorry.
After arguing with her teacher, the girl wrote the teacher an apology.
Appall. To appall means to horrify, shock, or disgust someone.
The boy was appalled when he saw the accident.
Apparatus. An apparatus is a device used for a particular purpose.
The campers had an apparatus that showed them their exact location.
Apparent. If something is apparent, it is easy to see.
Her happiness was apparent from the smile on her face.
Appeal. To appeal to someone is to be interesting or attractive to them.
Sleeping all day appeals to me, but I have to go to school.
Appear. To appear is to seem.
She appeared to be sad. She was crying.
Appetite. Your appetite is your hunger for food.
Tom has a big appetite. He eats all the time.
Appetizing. When food is appetizing, it looks and smells very good.
The appetizing plate of cookies was gone in half an hour.
Applaud. To applaud means to clap in order to show approval.
Everyone cheered and applauded Manny's efforts.
Applause. Applause is the noise made when people clap hands to show approval.
At the end of his speech, everyone gave applause.
Appliance. An appliance is a piece of equipment used for jobs in the home.
Many homes have appliances like ovens, toasters, and refrigerators.
Applicant. An applicant is someone who writes a request to be considered for a job or prize.
Lots of applicants came into the store when the job position became available.
Apply. To apply something means to put it on.
She always applies makeup to her face before going outside.